Young people exploding into real estate. There are tricks, these things you should know what to do, what not to do. We're going to teach you this morning. Stay tuned.
Good morning, gentlemen. Nathan Pansini, thank you
Morning,
for joining
Billy.
us.
How are you, mate?
Really good. You got great exposure to our topic this morning. Gateway into real estate. You're probably seeing the most up-and-coming agents, probably in the country, a big real estate trainer.
Yeah, mate, working in the property management space as a trainer has been a bit exciting, but it's also opened up, I guess, a real flow of staff that there's a lot of older staff heading out, a lot of retirements happening, and seeing a lot of new young people coming into the industry.
And where do we start? Do we talk about, what the first step is for some of these people you're seeing? Do we talk about prior learning of what they've been doing beforehand?
Yeah, I think so. I think, I think we could do that. And I think what I really want to sort of get into is like the experience of Mark, the experience of yourself, how that sort of worked, what the benefits are. So we'll segue into that. I'm happy to open up with mine if you like. So ask me. Go with me first and talk about what I'm doing, and then I might throw over, or you can then throw over to Mark, or you know what I mean. Give a bit of experience that way. So yeah, I reckon that's probably the right idea.
Well, Billy, let's do that. I think Billy's a shining example. He started when he was in the office at 15. Now he's 16, and look at him now.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm after, though. I'm after that. Like that's awesome. Yeah, look at him now.
16 and a half, I think. But actually, out of interest, we've got an 11-year-old starting with us as well.
Yeah, right. Wow. Yeah. You were saying that last night.
He's a mate of mine. A mate of mine's son is stinging to get into real estate. Stinging. So I told him he can come in and print letterbox drops off for us, and he's over the moon. He's going to come in on every second Saturday to do it. So, there's opportunities. There's a bit of fun, but I think principals are going to open their minds up a little bit and foster the process, because these kids are seriously talented and keen.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Yeah, and they bring an energy, Mark, that like when I build a property management team from scratch, I look at it and do the mix, because you got to have that level-headed experience, but at the same time, you want that young energy there to keep us rolling, because we feed off that.
Now, Billy, what do you reckon, Bill? Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to give some context here, because I do find this fascinating. A quarter of real estate agents in Sydney are between 25 and 34 years old.
Wow.
But the median age is 43 to 44 years old. So that's kind of like when you think of your career, I would think that's somewhere in the middle.
What do you mean?
Well, that's like midlife, 40, mid-40s, 50s. That's interesting. There's 550 real estate agents operating on the northern beaches. And
selling. That's interesting, because that's a much older mix of agencies than I actually thought, Nathan. I thought agencies were much younger than that, real estate agencies as a whole, the agencies.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm surprised by that. Yeah, I am surprised by that.
It is a fantastic gateway, though.
Yeah.
So why do most kids want to get into? Why do kids want to get into sales first? When these kids coming out of school, or 18, 19, 21, 23, why sales? That's all they think about. It's all they talk about.
I think they see it as glamorous, mate, to be honest with you. I think they see, the high profile, the TV shows, the high profile agents driving Lambos and things around, and I think that's what they see and that's what they want. They see it as a desirable a desirable career, and I think they see the PM side as tough and rough and tumble and a bit dirty, which at times it is. It's exactly that. So I think they see it as more glamorous.
Bill, what do you? Why did you feel that way?
I think it's got more exposure to the shiny side of the business, but property management's a lot more behind the scenes. There's a huge it's a little bit like an iceberg. You kind of see the tip from the top, and underneath there's just so much more to it. And I think in sales it's really easy to find that top of the iceberg because it's always on social media, TV, fancy property videos. Whereas with property management, I think there's a lot more that goes underneath. You can't see it. So it's a really good starting point. The thing I love the most is there's no age barrier here. The gateway into real estate can be 16, doing it in your last 2 years of school, which is what I did. It can be 11 years old, and I'm not really real estate as such in selling, but it's getting exposure to the back end of the business. Or at any other point in your career where you want to change across and do something different. That's what I love.
That's a good point.
So Nate, you're a trainer, Nate. You're a trainer for property management. Your focus is on getting the young bloods into real estate, into property management, and working them and getting them educated as fast as possible. Tell us more.
Yep. Yeah, so I guess for me, it's a real passion to have people enter property management because they choose it, not because they didn't make it in sales or anything like that, or they couldn't study a uni course. I want them to choose to come over to the property management side. That's, I guess, my initial passion for doing this, is choose the career. And you're right about that, is getting them there the fastest, but also the most prepared, because one of the things we find when property managers turn up to an office, we employ someone, they never had any experience, they got the right, vocabulary, they speak well, they can handle conflict. We put them in the chair, but they've really had no training. They've had no experience. No one's told them, about what can happen. So I guess for me, being in the space that I'm working in, is really giving that education so that when they turn up, they're not confronted, because we turn up, we put 3 months into them, someone tells them to, what, and then all of a sudden they leave. And we've just spent 3 months, and we all know how expensive it is to employ and train people, and the next thing you know, they leave. So for me, it's about preparation more than the word training, prepping them.
Yeah, stunning.
Billy, did you have this prep?
Yeah, I got the Novak prep. The School of Hard Knocks. It's tough out there. It's tough. You get a lot of objection very quickly. One of my first jobs was to pick up a phone list of name and numbers and just kindly remind them that their rent was behind. And you can imagine the response there.
Done that myself, mate.
At the age of 17.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was fun. But I'll go back to what Lisa just commented there. What it does do is it gives you a really good, solid sort of foundations, and it gives you insight into all the different parts of the business and whatever you choose to do, wherever your passion is. I think it'll help you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I think too, like the school-based traineeship stuff that I'm doing with Department of Ed is more than just PM, and I've come to realise that it will feed the industry as opposed to just feeding one side. Because I started with that in mind, the PM side, but when I look at it realistically, I think what we need to do is feed the industry as a whole, and let the people, or let the talent of the person decide where they go.
Yeah, agreed. It's hard to hold someone back quite quickly to find they like something or don't like something. And that's the nice thing. Again, working in a good office, you'll be able to go in the direction that you love.
Totally. Yeah. And then the other thing, Mark, is getting agencies buy into this. So it's about getting principals buy-in to support. Oh,
I think Mark dropped out. We've got a little bit of audio feedback. I don't know if you can hear it.
yeah, I can hear it. Yeah.
Okay.
Got to
All good.
go
Let's
out.
roll on.
No. Okay,
No,
cool.
all good.
Here he is.
Got a really bad line. Sorry, gentlemen. What were we saying?
Oh, you there? So we're just talking about not holding them back, about channeling these newcomers to the industry into either property management or sales, or in fact, it might be a marketing manager. It might be someone who is good at that type of angle. So yeah, it wouldn't be fair to hold them back. So so I think that's really key, Billy, to what we're doing.
And so what are you doing at the moment? You've got a bit of a side project.
Yeah, so I guess the main role is property management educator for Lee Woodward Training Systems, and we're out and about in offices. I guess solving some of the challenges that offices have in property management. Might be staffing, it might be tech stacks. It's those types of things. And really, Lee and I started this by wanting to help officers with what to say and what to send, because there are plenty of trainers out there who are doing fantastic work, but they're working with acquisitions, numbers, these types of things. I can do that, but the basis of what I'm doing is what to say, what to send, and helping them with the conversation. And we recently held a one-day event in Sydney, which we had 84 attendees, including principals and a whole range of different people. And in that, they had a workbook to work through, and they went through this scenario of conversations and winning listings and how to handle difficult conversations. So, and then flowing on from that, then as you say, the side project then is to help grow the industry and feed them in from schools where kids have, already. I mean, we had 20 kids register in about 16 or 18 hours it was up for at school, and we had 20 kids register, which was the capacity of the pilot. So I guess that demonstrates the interest, of kids that don't necessarily want to go to uni.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me at all. Hasn't been a challenge.
Where do you go? I think, Billy, if you think back to when when you started, where do you go? And I guess it's you got to do a full-on course, or there's nothing in between.
Yeah, heavily.
Yeah.
Guys, I've got a really bad line. I'm going to dip out. I've got a really bad line with you. Hopefully that'll improve your chat. But thanks, Legend.
He's gone. But yeah, so I guess, Billy, that's the main thing. And as Mark and I and yourself were chatting about before, it's about agencies opening up and principals opening up to this idea. And you raised a really good point before about it's not also about young people as well. We can actually, using this program and this process, we can put people of any age into real estate. So it really does span, because I think as a young person, you really raised a thought, I guess, bubble for me, thinking, well, you're right. It's about any age entering real estate. We can assist and put these people through this program.
Yeah, because the barriers to entry are identical. Really, people not knowing where to begin with. I reckon that's
Yeah, no, for sure. Awesome, mate.
So how do people find you? If you're wanting to get into it, you don't need training or preparation work, as you see it, where find you?
Yeah, so Lee Woodward trainingsystems.com.au. So if they jump on there, there's a contact Nathan button on there, or Nathan Pansini Auctioneer on Facebook. I do dabble in a little bit of auctioneering as well. So look, reach me on socials, Lee Woodward website, and happy to have a chat to anyone interested in jumping into real estate.
Yeah, stunning. And the same thing for any agencies, I guess, that need help.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, most definitely, mate. Any agents that need help with property management, as I said, that's what I do all day, every day. So I'm happy to help out with that as well.
Thanks, Nathan. Appreciate your time this morning. Good insight. You don't hear from trainers like that every day, so very, very, very interesting.
Thanks, Billy.
Have a great morning. Take care, guys.